agenda.
Can we cancel the meeting? No.
Good evening, everyone.
Never mind.
Thank you for joining us for our February 25th, 2026 committee meeting for York City Council. It is 6:00 p.m. and I call our committee meeting to order. We will be discussing committee issues today for March 3rd and March 17th, 2026 legislative agenda. I just want to remind everyone, as a reminder, this is our committee meeting and all public comments are relative to agenda items only. General public comments are only at the beginning of our legislative meeting, and our next legislative meeting will be held on March 3rd. Up first for Public Works, on the agenda, we have a bill amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, $164,550 for a Green Light Go grant for signal upgrades on Route 30 and Pennsylvania Avenue, as well as Fairlane Avenue and Roosevelt Avenue. I believe we have Mr. Jim Gross here, Interim Director of Public Works.
I think you said it all, Council President, so that's what it's for.
Do you have any further comments or additions this evening?
We received the grant at the beginning of the year, and now we just got to set the budget up so we can proceed, so.
Thank you.
That's what we're doing.
I want to thank you as well for providing me with answers to my questions. I had some questions relative to the start time of the project, as well as the end date of the project and how long the project would take. So thank you so much for answering my questions. I greatly appreciate it. Is there any council comments or questions regarding this?
No.
Yes, ma'am. I've got, it's just a housekeeping thing. When I was looking at the budget line item for the revenue, I saw that you picked, or someone picked local government revenue other, which is the 34140. 34140, local government. As this is state funds, I do see that the budget has a 34150 for state funds, state revenue. So I was thinking, I wanted to ask you to consider that revenue account line instead of the one that's listed. I think that when you read through the grant from the state, there are like 3 little boxes that say local. And I'm thinking maybe somebody saw local and they're like, okay, local funding, but if the funding comes from the state, there's a special state revenue line. And I just wanted to suggest that, and I think that's it. I remember hearing about this in one of the traffic committee meetings, so yay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Finance reviewed it, but I don't see a problem. We can certainly make that change.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Bupp. Thank you, Jim Gross. Is there any further council comment regarding this matter? Is there any public comment regarding this matter this evening? I make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward and will be on our legislative agenda for March 3rd, 2026.
Just for my clarification, Council President, that has to be read and sit for one meeting, is that correct? I'll see you at the second meeting.
March 17th, 2026. Thank you for the correction.
Council President, do we want to announce that we're operating as a committee of the whole tonight since we had not assigned any committee assignments?
Sure.
Just so no one's confused.
Sure. So as Councilwoman Janescu shared, because we will be reviewing our rules this evening, and we will be reviewing that later on this evening, we are acting as general, as a whole council as we vote tonight. As you know, generally we would vote based on the committees that we are assigned, and because we are making some changes this evening, we are voting on as council as a whole this evening. So thank you, Councilwoman Janescu, for reminding me to point that out this evening. Moving along to economic and community development. Up first, we have a bill amending the fiscal year 2026 budget in the amount of $52,000 for plans of safe care services. I believe we have Miss Amanda Ziegler here from Health, and we also have Monica here as well.
Good evening, council, and
Good evening.
all the people here. Hello. Basically, I had talked about this at a previous meeting, Plans of Safe Care. Just briefly, what it is we are subcontracted by Children and Youth, York County Children and Youth, to provide this service. And there's a legal requirement or ordinance that the county needs to provide Plan of Safe Care, and I'm just going to read you the act. So the act is Act 54 of 2018. This requires that a plan of safe care be developed for every infant under 1 year of age who is born and identified as affected by substance use, withdrawal symptoms resulting from prenatal drug exposure, or fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. So basically what is involved is that we are subcontracted by Children and Youth to provide a service of coordinating this plan of safe care. So when an infant is identified that falls within that category, a meeting is held. We will be responsible for coordinating that meeting and pull the partners together that would have an invested interest in coming alongside and helping that family. We will be responsible for not only coordinating it, but then any reporting requirements involved with that. So it is a requirement. The Children and Youth, we have funding already from them that assists in our maternal child health home nurse visitation program. They basically felt that we were trusted partners and were looking for someone to do this work because they didn't have anyone internally to do it. So that's the nuts and bolts of what that is. If you have budget questions or concerns, I know Amanda, we can speak to any specific line item or anything if you have concerns about that.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank you as well, both of you, for answering my questions that I had. And I will publicly state what I stated in my email. Thank you all for the great work that you and your department do every day.
Well, we support the boots on the ground.
Are there any comments from council regarding this?
Yes, we have. I've got just one, and it's in the same vein as I had for Mr. Gross. The revenue line that is drafted here is the miscellaneous grant, 34180. There is a 34140 for local grants, but I see that you have sometimes used 34180 for a county grant too, but I didn't, so it's just how you choose and what you choose. So maybe double check with finance what's best for that, since it's county money and that's kind of local. And then you've got an other supplies materials line item for $10,000, which is like, and the labor is at 30. So I'm like, that's a lot of supplies compared to the salaries. So what's that make up?
So in terms of the salary, this is not intended to be a full-time position, so it's only going to support a part of a full-time position. It's probably once the staff member gets accustomed to the work, it may actually only amount to about a few hours a week. So this money is actually starting from July 1, even though we've actually only gotten access to it January 1. So the numbers are going to look a little wonky. Once we're more into the program starting again this coming July, we will probably spend down these funds more appropriately. So we place them in other supplies and materials to kind of leave it loose because we're not quite certain yet what the best way is to use these funds to work within the community. So,
Okay.
So as we get a little bit more involved with the program, we will probably break that out into more specific line items.
Like you might reallocate some of it up to salaries, or, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Love. Any further council comments or questions? Any questions or comments from the public regarding this? I make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that moves forward. Up next, we have a resolution approving the 2026 CAPER. I believe we have Ms. Tammy Harvey Bethea, Interim Director of Economic and Community Development, to provide us with more information.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
So I come before you each year. This is a requirement from HUD. It is, the CAPER is, what did you say it, Edwina? The Consolidated Annual Evaluation Report. So, it's about our performance through the year. And you will look at it, this is just the draft. Okay, so when you look at the draft, it's not complete. The only way it's coming to you because we have to come to committee and we have to put it up in the portal March 31st of the year. So you will see the original when we get done. So the numbers may look a little wonky because we are still doing our fourth quarter drawdowns. Drawdowns is the expenditures for the subrecipients. So we are required to do this, and it will come before council on the 17th because the display will be out on the 27th to the 15th of March.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're actually getting it early. We didn't even display it yet. So, but since I have to come before you guys before we do anything, so you're getting it early.
Thank you very
So
much.
you'll see a lot of changes.
Thank you. Are there any council comments or questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for that and for answers to earlier questions. I did want to use this opportunity to say that I understand this is a timing issue because you have to submit before the 31st. You need our approval before the 31st to do that. And you have an open public time period where people can review the CAPER once you've got that finalized and give feedback. But you're also having a hearing, are you not? Which I thought I read was March 12th. Is that correct?
The public hearing, yes.
So there'll be a public hearing March 12th. Will that be here? And do you know what time yet?
It will be at 11 in council chambers.
It'll be 11 a.m.
Yes.
on March 12th. And anybody who's interested in learning about how the HUD funds have been spent last year
Yes.
can come and review and ask questions, and then you would take and maybe make edits if needed.
That's correct.
Is that correct? And then that helps you finalize it and submit it. So the March 12th I thought was very important to report out because I'm not sure everybody's aware that there's a public hearing, and I ran into that, I guess, my first year.
Right, now it's a public hearing. We will listen to what you have to say for the future, not for this one that's done already.
Okay.
All right, but we do have to have the public hearing so everyone could hear how our department run. So we have to actually have the public hearing so people could know about it.
To know about what's available in 2026, you mean? Or?
No, about CDBG and home funds and how it run. Now, you will not be able to change anything in this 2025 is already done. So all that information is what you will have, we can talk about it. It's just a public hearing. So you can talk about what you want to do next year. And that's why the public hearing notes and comments are in there. And they have to be put in the CAPER notes. So, do you understand what I'm saying?
A little bit.
You cannot change what happened last year.
Okay, but if we
Right.
have hearing comments, you guys put them in there as comments from the public.
Yes.
And they get reported along with the CAPER.
Yes, and that will give us an idea of what we should do in 2026.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Is the IDIS report available to the public, the IDIS?
No, that's HUD system. You will have attachments of reports at the end, and it will be just financial drawdowns and final numbers that will match OpenGov. I have two systems that I have to reconcile with. So if we use the money in HUD, it actually have to end up being the same within the city and HUD. So that's the only report you will actually see, all the expenditures of year 2025.
Thank you.
So it coincides with the budget.
Yeah.
Is there any further council comments or questions? Thank you.
I just have a question. On the 12th, for those of us who wouldn't be able to make it, is it recorded?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It will be public.
Councilman Supler, I believe you had some comments or questions?
Yes, President, thank you. Yes, President, thank you. I wanted to say and disclose that I do work with the York City and County COC, the Coalition on Homelessness.
We're both on it.
Yeah, and on the project funding evaluation team, as well as the outreach and emergency street shelter committee. And I'm also in a paid capacity with Life Path Christian Ministry. So I just wanted to disclose that and kind of seek guidance on if I would be able to vote on this matter. It is a report. However, I don't want to kind of have that conflict of, oh, I'm approving a report that's about me kind of thing, or my work, yeah. So.
You won't with this one because since we dealt with Life Path with the CDBG funds, the county have its own funds, the city have its own funds. So the reason why we gave Life Path ARPA funds is because there's less restrictions. So if we did have them in a purview to give them funding, but it was hard for them to give us the demographics that we needed for the CDBG funds. So you're fine.
Sister Flower?
So I believe because this isn't an allocation of funds at this point, there's no conflict, but I appreciate the disclosure.
Yeah, definitely. I want to be on the up and up.
Thank you, Councilman Supler.
Absolutely.
I just have one more question for you, Director Harvey Bethea. The report will be on the City of York website, correct?
Yes.
And will have an opportunity to provide questions
Yes.
to you or an individual here in the City of York if they have any questions or any additions that they want to make for those who cannot come to the hearing, or those individuals that will read it and may have some questions or comments that they want to add.
That's correct. And I'm a little techie, so I'm gonna advance it a little bit.
Okay.
We used to just put it out just to sit it out, but we have so many places to put it now, from Facebook to everywhere. So I'm going to make sure that it's out more in multimedia.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any further council comment or questions? Is there any comments or questions from the public regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
And the booby trap, it's not gonna give me.
Oh.
Manuel Gomez, City of York. Are we exhausting as a city all of our capacities in terms of getting this out broadly? Thank you, because that segs perfectly with what I was gonna ask. In not just English, Spanish, you can get Haitian Creole out there, There's all types of tools available. You might have staff at your disposal that can assist. Particularly when you're speaking of specific demographics that comprise the city, yes, some of the most heavily impacted don't speak English. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to throw this out there and pop my collar a little bit. So we're starting an educational videos for the city. When I say that, I'm talking about from our whole economic and community development. I am starting videos from A to Z, how to start a new business, how to work with the UCC, how to work with permits, how to do everything. And I have translatable. Yeah, so in all languages. So everyone could look at it. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there any further comment from the community or questions regarding this matter? I make a motion to place this on our March 17th, 2026 legislative agenda.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May I make a comment? Out of abundance of caution, may I abstain?
You can only abstain when you have a financial interest in it, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time you can abstain.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be no, I mean, I suppose the rest of you could vote. I suppose it could be opened up to the council to vote on your abstention, but there wouldn't be a legal basis to abstain.
I would ask for a vote. I'm sorry. May I ask for a vote?
Yes. So motion for a vote for Councilman Supler to abstain on the floor. Is there a second? That motion
All
dies.
right, thanks.
So all in favor of the CAPER being placed on the March 17th, 2026 legislative agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have a bill amending the 2025-2026 budget, rollover of unexpended CDBG funds, community development block grant funds from 2025 to 2026. And we have interim director of economic and community development, Ms. Harvey Bethea, here again to share with us.
Thank you, and this is housekeeping. In September, I think we start our new budget for the next year, so I do guesstimations, I call it, like how much people think they're going to use, the subrecipients going to use, and actually it's not true numbers. So at the end of the year, whatever is left over from the prior year, I just have to roll it back into 2026 so we can use the funds, basically.
Thank you, and I want to thank you as well for providing answers to my questions. I had some questions about the home buyer assistance program, as well as the residential redevelopment programming, and some to understand the differentiation between the budget lines of 34040 and 48217 with the home buyer assistance program. And thank you again for answering my questions. You explained them perfectly.
You're welcome.
Is there any other council comment or questions this evening?
Yes.
Councilwoman Buck.
I was just I had some questions about the amounts. And because there were some admitted, just looking for the email I got from Tammy. I don't have a clear picture of what numbers were rolling over, what numbers weren't, what the balance was at the end of 2025 that is available for rollover. I would like to make a motion to keep this in committee until the March committee, when we can get a better report of numbers and what the true balance is at the end of 2025, and see if that ties with what you're asking to roll over. I don't know that there's if there is some reason of timeliness that this needs to be done. I don't understand what that is. I would be asking if you can tell me why it has to be now versus if we could wait and get the numbers trued up. They looked like $4 million on one report, but then I saw another that sort of calculated to $5 million, so I just wasn't clear what you were asking to roll over.
I'm clearing it up for you. Because
Okay.
what you're looking at was guesstimations, which was not a true budget. That's what you're trying to compare, a real budget to the budget that's something I presumed or proposed, right? So the numbers you have that I'm bringing in front of you are the actual amount of monies that is in our HUD system, and it's not going to change.
And what's that dollar amount total?
What you see in front of you.
Is that the $4,092,092?
That's correct.
So the $4,092,092 is what is left in Department 414, in OpenGov at the end of 2025?
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's not gonna change. So what you're trying to compare the budget that you approved, all the money wasn't expended, all the bills wasn't in yet. So this time you guys was going through the budget, we still was going through our fourth quarter. We had Public Works drawing down 300,000. We had a whole lot of bills coming in at the same time. So what you're trying to compare, sure, it was a difference in funds. It's gonna be lower now because we already expended more money. So, but what you see that I'm giving you here, match my system, and it's just not gonna change.
And that comes out of OpenGov?
Those comes out of IDIS, that's my HUD system, and this is the actual numbers I have left in HUD balance. So, do you understand?
So it comes out of these are from IBIS, is what you're saying?
That's correct.
That attachment.
And that's all I have left to expend in any one of these line items.
Okay.
This is true number. This is true money. So if you're looking for anything different to change, it will not change.
No, so the number for 2026 budget was 5,300,000.
Yes.
Approximately. So when we roll over this 4 million, will the budget then for Department 414 be 9 approximately million? 4 million rolling over plus the 5 that's already in the 2026 budget?
No.
No.
What? It's gonna be 4 million.
4 million and 4 million,
Yeah.
not 5. Okay.
No. No, what you see on this, in this amendment,
Okay.
is all we have left.
Okay.
And CDBG and home only.
Right.
We're not talking about home ARP. We're not talking about, that's why you don't see everything. So in my budget, you're talking about is different funding for the whole home projects, right? I don't have to do anything with home ARP. I don't have to do anything with any other account that is not changing. Only the things that's changing is what I'm coming in front of you to amend.
And so the 4 million was 4 million from 2025. Was that a split year type of situation? Is that why there was so much money left to roll over, or no?
No. Our fiscal year is from January to December.
Okay.
So I think I'm available to talk to you so I can explain how it run. I think you just kind of got it a little mixed up, but I can sit with you and then we can kind of talk through it.
Is there a timing need for it to be done right now, or be done?
Yes, because if I don't roll these funds over and don't put it in a 2026 budget right now, we have bills that's coming in still, that's in those line items. So if you don't put this money in there, I will be holding those other bills that's coming in till April or May before it get approved. So I need to put the money that's left over, that we're rolling over for those subrecipients to be able to use in 2026, because they're not in there, because I was thinking they would expend all their money. So I zeroed it out. So now I'm putting the line items back in the budget that was not there originally. Get it?
I hear what you're saying. I just
So if I don't do that, say for instance, literacy is one of our subrecipients. I said they was going to spend the whole 30,000. They didn't. They spent 25. The 5 is still stuck in 2025 budget. I need to roll the 5 over so they can at least use it. So, do you understand what I'm saying?
so it's a lot of money to roll over. It just $4 million just seems like a lot of money to roll over, and I was just trying to reconcile it with what was already in the budget for 2026, and the fact that we don't have any year-end reporting for 2025 yet, because it's early. And so if we did have reporting for the year 2025, it would show $4 million of unspent in these line items. And that's what you're moving over, so.
And that's average. That's average, Elspeth. So.
Every year kind of thing, you're saying it's
Yes.
average every year, there's a.
Yeah, so
Big rollover.
the big ticketed items is section 108. $400,000 right off the bat will be pulled. You got Public Works, they have big projects. We're doing Hudson Park. We're doing the park, so they're big expenditure items. You won't see that amount of money expended. Now it's bigger than this. The amount was larger than this. You see, I cleaned the budget up. Remember all the money from like 17, 18, 19? Right now, we only have 23, 4, and 5. We didn't get to 26 monies yet. We're hoping to get to 26. And another thing, what you're seeing is the tens. When I say tens, the city up front, our payroll, without having it yet, because our money didn't come yet. Do y'all understand? So, yeah. So you'll see that also. So that's why it looks big to you.
Tens, are you talking about general
That's
fund?
general fund.
General fund 10.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the 41,000, I think, or if I'm reading.
No.
No, Hallmark
No.
administration?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, thank you
But
for
I mean-
trying to help me understand what I'm looking at, and it's just, I hear
know
what you're
it's a lot.
saying, I hear it's in IBIS, and that's what you're getting this number right out of this IBIS system, which we don't have access to.
No, you don't. You gotta have a clearance,
Do you,
federal clearance.
do
And
you
it's
ha-
very hard for me to find an employee that's got that to go through this to get the federal clearance.
can you run reports out of it? I mean, are there,
Yes, but not for the public.
not for the public either?
I can give you a synopsis that you will get with the
Yeah,
caper when we're done with it, and it's actually just a reconciliation of OpenGov and IDIS.
I think that's where I was looking for something out of OpenGov to support this. Yeah, but if there'll be a reconciliation,
But you don't have it yet because it's a draft. Right now, we're still expending from 2025, we're still expending money from 2025 for the fourth quarter. Subrecipients, I just explained to you like literacy. So if I draw it before the end of March, it will go back and it will be counted for 2025. Previous year.
so this rollover will take effect April 1st, or?
No, it actually before the end of March,
Okay, so it sounds mainly housekeeping, yes?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Interim Director Harvey Bethea. Thank you, Councilwoman Bupp. Is there any further council comments or questions regarding this matter? Is there any public comments or questions regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
Manuel Gomez, resident, City of York. I appreciate your due diligence, and I appreciate your concerns and due diligence as well. But I almost wondered, it just seems to me to be routine. We do this year after
It is.
year with
We have
unexpended
to,
funds, but already
yeah.
allocated funds. Sometimes they reach back further, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And it appeared to me to be routine. I understand that you'd want it to also align with some other very credible reporting systems, but we don't have that interplay. I wish. You probably would too, but interesting to hear about the clearance restrictions and so on.
Yeah, the restrictions are heavier now than it ever been. So, to get in the HUD system, the federal system right now, to find an employee that will pass that, I cannot do both. I cannot expend and approve. So, at this time, I am actually dealing with outsourced, within HUD to do the expenditures for me so I can approve. So yeah, that's what we're working in right now, so.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
I'll second.
Been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Yeah, well, it says 17th. Did you want to, March 17th, and you said 3rd?
It says the 3rd.
It says the March 3rd. You're at the wrong one. It says March 3rd.
Oh, she's looking at the.
Oh, I'm looking at the front page.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do we change it?
I'll change it on the resolution once it comes out,
Yeah.
when I put it on the agenda.
I'm especially,
You're opposed?
Yeah.
One opposed, it moves forward. Thank you. Up next, we have a resolution allocating ARPA funding to York County Economic Alliance in the amount of $1 million for Doris Creek remediation. Again, we have Mrs. Tammy Harvey Bethea, Interim Director of Economic and Community Development.
I think YCA needs
Oh.
to speak on that.
Thank you, Council President. Council, Sarah O'Brien, the Director of Downtown Inc. and with the York County Economic Alliance. I promise to be more graceful this evening than I was at your last council meeting. No ballerina or basketball moves. So phase one of the Cadorus Greenway is a $45 million project and investment to benefit the public good of York City and York County. It was identified in the county's comprehensive plan and the York County Economic Action Plan. It's one of the largest public works projects in the city of York's history, and has a myriad of benefits for city residents, including reestablishing public access to the creek, providing safe routes to work and school via new off-street trail connections, and connecting the city's neighborhoods to downtown York. The project is also critical to meeting York County's stormwater reduction goals and fulfilling the county's watershed improvement plan by removing phosphorus, nitrogen, and sediment from the creek before it reaches the Chesapeake Bay. Over the last 9 years, the York County Economic Alliance has raised funding from a variety of federal, state, and local sources, including a $15 million federal raise grant, $20 million in state RACB grants, and awards from DCNR, PennDOT, DEP, and other sources. Most of these funding sources cover expenses related to construction, but not design, engineering, and construction management. This makes the city's $1 million ARPA funding critically important as a source to continue to move the project forward. The total for design, engineering, and construction management fees is $4.2 million. We have fundraised the additional $3.2. This $1 million will help cover that gap so that we can get construction started and permits approved by the end of this year. If you guys have any questions, I am happy to answer them. That this $1 million is literally a once-in-a-century opportunity to bring this project to the finish line. And we are so appreciative of your support and looking forward to continuing downtown York and York City for generations to come.
Thank you very much.
welcome.
Is there any council comments or questions?
Just I want to mention, for the sake of transparency, to avoid any optics that might, hurt the city, YCA is providing contracting services to our Department of Economic Community Development. This $1 million was something that was agreed upon years earlier at the earlier stage of this ARPA. And so I did seek, make sure with our solicitor, I'm going to ask her to expand on that, just to come clean, because optics are everything, and we want to be transparent at all times.
Perfect. Thank you, council member.
Thank you, Councilwoman Janescu. So as going back to the ARPA process, each applicant, as you all well know, each applicant and each project goes through a conflict of interest review process with with the city, as well as our ARPA grants contractor. The work that YCA is doing with the Department of Economic and Community Development obviously started in 2026 and does not involve any actual oversight of this project or the ARPA work. And so that would be the only scenario where a conflict of interest could arise if they were supposed to be policing themselves. Here, there's no overlap with that work, and so there's no potential conflict, and obviously nothing was flagged through the through the regular ARPA application process.
Thank you, Solicitor Flowers.
Thank you. Thank you, Solicitor Flower. Thank you, Councilwoman Janescu. Is there any further comment from council or questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Buck.
I just wanted to say, so I did notice, I read through the proposal. It does propose getting raise funds from the federal raise funds for construction of $15 million. Has any of that been promised yet?
So we have been in constant contact with the federal government, and yes, it is a committed line item. So we do not have the money in hand yet. We will get that once we get through the permit process.
So it's committed, so there's...
It's committed. I cannot speak for Washington, D.C., but we have had very good conversations with our partners at the federal government, and we have no indication that that money is in jeopardy. We just do not have it in hand yet.
That's good. And how about the RACP funding? Is that promised also?
That's promised and committed, yes, ma'am.
Promised and committed. Okay. I just didn't want us to get to the end of the year and
us either.
It stops.
Yes, us either. And the great news is, as I mentioned, this $1 million is for engineering and design, and so it's going to be allocated. We will meet all ARPA guidelines and restrictions and be in full compliance with ARPA funding.
Do you think that you guys, I don't know what the plan is, but could you come to council at the end of the year and present?
Absolutely. I've already got Silas Chamberlain on tap for a council presentation later this year for a full update on the Cadorus Greenway beautification project.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. O'Brien.
Thank you.
Is there any further council comment or questions?
I just want to say personally, I mean, this has been on since we really started the ARPA process and had brought on managers to guide us through this to be sure that we're in compliance with everything. But this project in particular has great economic impact for the city of York.
Yep.
In addition to the benefits that it brings our neighborhoods and our residents, it's one project that it's great. And we've already been able to partner on some other aspects of that with the Baskerville Dam removal, which we had to do, which had to be part of it. And also the assistance for the Market Street Bridge replacement.
Absolutely. And we couldn't do it without your support. So thank you very much. And just one shameless plug, Waterway is right there. It is the only York City waterfront property. So if anyone is interested in redeveloping and opening up a fabulous restaurant on the banks of the Cadorus Creek before we get this work underway, just give me a call and we'll take care of that for you.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Council.
And thank you, Vice President Buckingham. Was there any further council comment or questions regarding this?
Yes, I think it's important to have that conflict of interest like formalized and documented part of this application, part of this agreement, so that it reduces the level of optics and concern. So that would be my request for this.
Thank you, Councilman Supler. Any further council comment or questions? Any questions or comments from the public regarding this? Yes, sir.
Manuel Gomez, City of York, because it appears to be a consistent theme with regards to the conflict of interest. We've heard from the solicitor, but mostly, I looked, and I'll be honest, I looked. Answer, or Accenture, as they more likely going by now, they're exceedingly thorough. I've looked all across, all different municipalities. Nobody's above reproach, but they do their due diligence. If this is vetted through Accenture, Answer, and now we have the solicitor on record, it should at least put to rest any major concern. As far as optics go, forget about it. There's always going to be things that you do, and you'll never be right. With regards to the project itself, I'm all for it. Of course, it's already something that's been agreed upon. It's been in the works for many years. And probably sometimes you could market things a certain way, and please don't take this the wrong way, anybody, but particularly Sarah, who is a tough act to follow, and I mean it. this is more than downtown. I'm not going to belabor it. We have a long meeting, but this is far more than just downtown. Not just the economic impacts, but also the overall spillover effects. Because it's a large, large project that touches on so many things. And one thing I see doesn't often get addressed here is our infrastructure. So now we have something that ties it all together, and infrastructure is a key element of it. I understand all the concerns, but I'm happy to see it move along, to be quite honest.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on that to say, and part of everyone else, like I'm not against this at all. I'm for this. I just have concerns of the situation in DC and the climate. So I just want to make sure we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and there's no kind of clawback coming, and no one feels a certain way. So that's kind of why I want to make sure we're on the up and up. And I try and do that personally, as you just saw earlier, even on a simple report, because I don't want anything, any kind of mishap. So that's where I'm coming from, and that's where my heart is at. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Supler. I'll make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward. Up next, we have a resolution allocating ARPA funding to Life Path Ministries in the amount of $100,000. And I will open that up again to Interim Director of Economic and Community Development, Mrs. Tammy Harvey Bethea.
Good evening again. This is just an amendment to their contract they already had with us, so we're giving them additional funding. So that's about it. Brett, do you have anything that?
So I believe this is just in the same, under the original contract, so it's for the operational needs.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mrs. Harvey Bethea. Thank you, Solicitor Flower. Is there any further comments or questions from council?
Just a question. I don't know if, I know that LifePath is working on building a new facility on East or West Philadelphia Street. I don't know if they've come to us for any ARPA funds for construction, but
Not that I'm aware of.
No, not that I'm aware of.
okay.
Yeah,
Because that would be something that's worth supporting to help LifePath even further with their taking care of the homeless. So that's all. So I support this. It's great. Thank you.
Is there any further council comment or questions?
Council President Washington, before you ask for a vote, I do believe there needs to be a motion on.
Yes.
Councilman Supler's.
I move to support Councilman Supler's abstention from this vote.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward. Is there any, actually, we did this wrong. Is there any public comment regarding this?
You had, also, that was just for the abstention, you need to do the, oh, you're not even ready.
Yes, we didn't get any public comment. Is there any public comment regarding this? Okay. At this time, I make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, where's March 17th? March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Abstention?
Abstain.
And that moves forward. Up next, we have a resolution allocating ARPA funding to Crispus Attucks York in the amount of $100,000 for job training. And I'll turn it back over to Interim Director of Economic and Community Development, Mrs. Harvey Bethea.
This is the same. We're actually giving them a little more money. The program that they are giving for the job training, it's really working, and it is really helping a lot of our constituents. So I really think this is a good move for us to give them the extra funding. So they're working with a new program now with the youth. So and I think it's going to be really nice.
Great, thank you. Is there any council comment or questions regarding this?
I can just say that President Washington and I met with them initially, but it's also, these programs are really great because they get some of our youth who would never have the opportunity to be in front of professionals and see certain professional careers as possibilities for them. And it's been really great to see that.
Yeah, and I think this is the new one will be called Ambassadors of York City.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great way to encourage our youth to be involved in the community, but also providing them with opportunity to engage in different careers, as Vice President Buckingham mentioned, different careers, different avenues, but also to have the access to that information and the opportunity, which we know is a true investment in our youth in this community, to give them those opportunities, even if they're not interested in it, but to give them an opportunity to try it out and see if they like it or not.
Yeah.
And so I believe this is a wonderful project, and Crispus Acts is a wonderful program here in our community and organization. Any further comments or questions from the community? Is there any comments from the public? I make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward. Moving along to our rules and administrative code in general. Up next, we have,
The easement,
Yep, the easement.
we have an easement.
Yeah, we-
Well, that is under the code.
yeah, I didn't get
Oh, I
there
didn't
yet.
get it on the
It's rules
cover,
and
sorry.
No, it's there, I just didn't get there yet.
Oh, okay.
Up next, authorizing a permanent and temporary easement agreement between the Redevelopment Authority and York Realty Partners LLC for the mentioned tax parcel. And I'll hand it over to Solicitor Flower.
Thank you, President Washington. So this is on the Dent Supply property and has to do with that land development
Yes.
that came before you guys previously. We, the city, own a pump station at the southeast corner that we've been accessing just through the Dent Supply parking lot. That obviously is going to go away once they develop that. And so what we have, what this easement does is gives us access to that pump station basically straight in from the Dent Supply property until that last row of houses are built, at which point the permanent easement comes in from Green Street, and then we'll drive up the trail that the YCA is building. It's going to be built to support it's going to be built to specifications that support the trucks that are necessary in the event we need to replace the pump station or maintain it.
Thank you, Solicitor Flower.
Thank you.
Is there any comments or questions for Solicitor Flower regarding this?
I saw this go through planning, and yes, it's definitely needed.
Thank you.
Is there,
Councilwoman Janescu.
quick question, is there a reason we didn't have or need an easement before this?
Because it wasn't previously papered up because the RDA owned it, and so they were letting us cross the property, and I believe, it's my understanding, that the prior owner, Dent Supply, was allowing us to cross their property as well. Even if we had an easement under the current site layout, we would still need to get an amended easement or at least an amended easement from the developer, because, obviously that landscape is going to change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further council questions or comments?
Yes, I
Councilman
had a question related to the property from the creek to the actual Dent Supply. Like, what is that distance? And that's under the ownership of the Army Corps of Engineers?
So the Army Corps doesn't own that property, as far as I recall. What the Army Corps does is they have an easement along all the riparian areas. So we own a portion, I believe the RDA, actually, I don't know, Sarah, do you know who owns the actual trail? Where the trail is going to go?
Depends, I mean.
Okay, because I know the city owns a portion. I know it's private somewhere. Yeah.
Depending on which stretch.
It's complicated in there. What will ultimately happen is it's going into county ownership as part of the trail
installation. So that land is part of the recreation, satisfying part of the recreation requirement for this land development is they're providing that. What it goes with the dense supply property is going to be given to the county for the trail project.
So none of these properties own anything down to the creek banks, like
No.
to the water. It's all
Yeah, it's
kind of a
that top,
convoluted ownership.
yes, and, yes.
Okay. And then for those who are unhoused in this area, has there been any kind of handling of that?
For this property specifically?
Yeah.
So there hasn't been a discussion that I've been involved with relating to the unhoused and this dense supply property.
Okay.
So I'm not aware of anything in this area at all.
Okay.
But that would not be affected by, this easement that's strictly on the, the plateau, the flat part of the currently developed, or the currently paved property.
Okay. And then I forget if you did answer this. How many feet was that from the water to, say, like one of the housing units that are proposed?
That I'm not sure. So this is just for the easement from Green Street or Cookus House Lane to the pump station. So it doesn't deal with anything beyond so if you go to the parcel now and you see what's paved, this easement doesn't deal with anything beyond what's paved.
Okay. And then it's a set line throughout the easement line. It's set through the whole in between of what's that, Grantley and what's the other street?
So there's Cookus House Lane at the front of
Cookus
Dense
House.
Supply. So the permanent easement is shown, and that's in the exhibit. The temporary easement is not shown because it's not going to be recorded because it's going to go away.
Okay.
So the applicant didn't want there to be any confusion in the future if somebody pulls the plans or pulls this easement and says, well, wait a second, this shows an easement over here and public rights or city rights in this access. So that's not defined in anything that's going to be recorded.
Okay. And everyone gave a heads up to former Mayor Helfrich that, okay.
Yeah, he's aware of it.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any further council comment? Any comments from the public regarding this? I make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward. Up next, we have a resolution amending Article 137 fiscal procedures to reduce the amount of contracts requiring council approval. I will hand that
Should be a
over.
bill, I'm sorry.
Oh, a bill.
I made a mistake on the agenda.
No problem.
Oh, it's an ordinance? Mm-hmm.
So we have a bill amending Article 137 fiscal procedures, and I'll hand that over to Councilwoman Janescu.
Thank you, and, given it's a rather small crowd tonight, I can kind of reduce some of my preparation. Anyway, the bottom line is, the last time this was amended was in 2006, 20 years ago, in March. So, we're talking about 20 years to the month. In that time, our budget has grown 154%. From $31,363,047 to the current $79,519,971. And so likewise, the threshold for contracts not needing, council overview or, has risen in the same 150%. So what I did was Clerk Thompson found the minutes from that 2006 meeting, and I thought, wow, this is history repeating itself. So I want to share a couple of these excerpts. Vice President Musso, subsection 13708 contracts gives some control to council by requiring council to approve contracts exceeding a certain amount of general fund dollars. He felt it was prudent to amend this figure, and at that point it's going from 0.15% to 0.10%, where it is now, as the general fund budget has grown over the past few years, which affects the dollar amount for contracts requiring council approval. Administrator O'Rourke. He explained the bidding and contracting process and stated the new requirement would be extremely time-consuming. Vice President Musso. Based on the recommendations of the city's financial management team, he feels it prudent to keep a watchful eye on the city's finances. This requirement is not asking too much. That 2006 amendment passed unanimously. I propose the additional amendment taking the current threshold from 0.10, which is now about $78,000, to 0.05, which would bring it down to about $39,000. In reviewing the archive minutes, I feel strongly that the city finances are back in that place. I do not believe there is evidence of undue burden. Administrator O'Rourke, feared. 20 years is timely for a review of 13708. It is not just symmetry of the passage of time. The transition to a new administration opens the door for resets that put the city on firmer financial ground. I am also aware that municipalities, including York, are increasingly reliant on contracted services as a way to complete specialized tasks that are insufficient in frequency and time required to justify maintaining specialized staff. There is agreement between City Hall and Council that the city's finances are not in order. I see evidence of the effort to address the problem at City Hall. This amendment is Council's avenue to help set our finances right. This is not an adversarial move. Rather, it's complementary. Like regular reporting, increased oversight of contracts strengthens our fiduciary partnership between City Hall and City Council. I agree with Mayor Walker when she sent me an email that transparency is not a single document, it is a system. This amendment is a component of that system. Following that, before I go to your comments and questions, and I also did an impact study looking at the contracts currently on the controller's website. Vicki Washington sent this letter to everybody on council, and I wanted to share it. I said on council when we unanimously amended Article 13708, I support this amendment as it actually should be looked at more frequently. The ordinance states that after the passing of the general fund budget, the figure should be calculated by the BA on how much the administration can spend on contracts without council approval and submitted to council. This amendment is just housekeeping. What council found in 2006 was sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars were being spent in a month without council's knowledge. We would find out after the fact when the controller gave us monthly financial statements. Amending it in 2006 caused no hardship to the administration. It was also recommended by the consulting firm hired back then to review the city's finances. Doesn't it feel like history's repeating itself? Yeah, I believe that amending Article 13708 is only council doing due diligence and ensuring oversight of the taxpayers' hard-earned money. Thank you for your consideration, Vicki Washington. So, I know questions will come up, but I, air those before I share with you my impact study. Council comment?
Councilwoman Janescu, I just have a comment within the proposal. It has this is technical language. You have 0.00005, and then the other one, it has 0.005. I believe that might be a minor.
Sister Flower, can you?
Yes, I believe there just needs to be an extra zero on the second iteration.
Okay.
The second cross out.
All right. Clerk Thompson, did you catch?
I didn't hear what he said.
There's like a little typo.
You're talking about the third from the bottom? Okay.
Yeah.
And Clerk Thompson, I can email you if you want.
I think I have.
You good?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so that should just be 0.0005, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do think that it is I think the 0.01% has been working well enough. I do support making changes to this law, this ordinance. I have other suggestions for making changes to this ordinance, and I would request that we leave it in committee until we can make those consider other changes. There are other parts, such as the waiver for approval of personal and professional services, if we're going to consider changing 137, I'd like to take a little more time and review the full ordinance, work together with the administration and the controller's office on a comprehensive change that safeguards the taxpayers' funds and provides the transparency we all want. I do appreciate the controller's updates on his webpage monthly, and I would like to see more information from that, specifically where the funds are coming from to pay for a particular contract. And so I think that would be something to add to this.
Well,
And
what I know there were some considerations or things. What I want to avoid is feeling like we're piling on a Department of Economic, city government in transition. We still, as they're resetting all the finances, we don't know what the end product's going to look like. There was a great disorder in the finance department. That's in the process of restoring. This is something that's simply meant to see that, so that we see the contracts, see more of them. We won't see that many more of them, actually. That's my impact study. But I think it's the one change we can make now that will be the least burden on a transitioning city government. Because right now, they have so many people trying to repair our finance department. So I would rather wait and revisit those further amendments when we know what our finance department looks like and how it's functioning. Right now, that would be like, I'm not following through on my neighborhood improvement ordinance rewrite because I know that DECD is short-staffed and has its hands full and it's restaffing. It does not make sense to burden them further with that rewrite until the dust settles on that reorganization. My thinking was we have a lot of contracts going out right now, and I'll share my impact study, and that's just so that we see what's happening, we're involved, there's transparency, the public sees the effort that's going into what the city's doing. Again, it's not adversarial, and I don't think it's burdensome. I think if we pile on a lot more at this time, we would become burdensome for the city. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I don't want to pile on more at this time. I would like to wait I'd like to leave it in committee where we can all consider changes and give them time to hire a business administrator, and we could get their input into it and also try to get some more information from the controller's office.
I really think we're not going to, this is simply just the approval threshold for contracts. Any further amendment is really looking at systemic change. And I think that's a whole different animal. And I don't think this department's going to be ready to consider that even this year. So I'd rather change that provides least amount of burden, and I'm going to run through that, that allows us a little more, allows a little more visibility to the contracts we are asked to pass, and worry about the systemic change in another. There are two different types of changes, is what I'm getting at. To hold one up while we spend a year looking at, and it's going to take a year, I think, the others would really be a disservice to our taxpayers.
I agree with moving forward on this item and lowering down to the 0.05%. And I think this is a smart move, and it ensures public trust. And an item that had come up is that contracts are being written to where they're trying to not exceed the 0.10 threshold. And that is a concern for me. It kind of raises an ethical question. So you don't want to use a dollar amount, but you want to use the council threshold. And so this...
Well, the threshold is a dollar amount.
It is a dollar, but you're using our percentage. You didn't come up with like 70,000. You didn't come up with 50,000. You're like, oh, well, here's what is the general point in this article. No, I'm going to use this council percentage. Like that seems it's a little suspicious to me.
The business administrator announces what that figure is. Every year it changes because the general fund budget changes. Yes.
I get that, but using that in the specific language it kind of raised the question for me in that particular contract. So I would rather see, or that's a separate topic. So I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, let me go through my impact study because, again, we're repeating history. Administrator O'Rourke was concerned, so I did pull and print out the contracts that are in the controller's page. and I did a survey of them. And here are my findings, and I'll drill down on a few specifics. My findings, there were 6 contracts listed in January. Only 1 came to council for Life Team for the fire department, the amount of $225,000. The remaining 5 contracts seem to be correcting the city's current financial issues. And I agree, help is needed. I would not, deny or want to, say no to any of that, but it's nice for us to see exactly what's happening and understand. Now, 2 of these 5 have a definite cost. HCM LLC at $18,000 will fall below the proposed threshold. It will not be impacted at all. Dow Tax Service at $6,000 a month for 6 months with possible extension is $36,000. That will be below the new proposed threshold. No impact. The remaining 3, and here's where it gets a little bit, wonky in my view, and I don't know if there are answers to those questions. The remaining 3 are open-ended with an hourly rate and expected duration, but no indication of the number of hours required. There is no not to exceed amount specified, and so I guess we would see the real cost of these contracts when we receive an expenditure report. I wonder, though written this way, how these contracts are evaluated for 137.08 compliance. So what I did was I went through each of these 3 contracts, and I developed, went through the scenarios of what these might cost. I went for a 40-hour, 30-hour, 20-hour, and 10-hour a week. So for Matt Gerber, who is providing financial advisory and technical assistance with the city's financial team, at 40 hours a week, it would be $6,000 a week. At 4 weeks or a month, that's $24,000 a month, times 6 months would be $144,000. At 30 hours a week, we have a weekly cost of $4,500, a monthly cost of $12,000, and a 6-month cost at $108,000. So those 2 definitely, would require council oversight or council review. At 20 hours a week, it's $3,000. $12,000 a month, $72,000 a year. That falls under the current threshold and would not be impacted, at all, but it would be impacted by the change in the threshold. At 10 hours a week, it's at $1,500, $6,000 a month, $36,000 for 6 months. That would be below the proposed, threshold. And this one says not to exceed 6 months. So if that is the case, at 10 hours a week, it does not exceed, it would not be impacted. Let's go on down to the next one that, again, was very open-ended, is Tickstone, I have a typo, Solutions. All right, so this is $85 an hour. And so at 40 hours a week, and it's 9 to 12 months, I'm going to give you the 9-month and the 12-month figure. At 40 hours a week, it's $3,400 a week. It's $13,600 a month. 9-month contract at 40 hours is $122,400. At 12 months, it's $163,200. So that, should, if that's going to be the case, be coming to council. At 30 hours a week, it's $2,550 a week. It's $10,200 a month. 9 months is $91,800. 12 months is $122,400. Again, at that 30 hours a week, it should come to council, under the current. At 20 hours a week, it drops to $1,700 a week. At $6,800 a month. At the 9 months, it's $61,200. That's below the current threshold. And at 12 months, it would be $81,600. That's below the current threshold. At 10 hours a week, it's $850. I know I'm probably driving you nuts with this. It's $30,600 for 9 months, and for 12 months, it's $40,800. So it would not be impacted at all at 10 hours a week with the new threshold. But you can see the wide variability, and since we have no expected cost or estimated or not to exceed, it gets confusing. The final one here of the 3 is Strategic Thought Solutions. And that is comprehensive forensic investigation and security posture assessment at $150 an hour. At 40 hours a week, it's $6,000. It's $24,000 a month. And for that 6 months, $24,000 a month equals $72,000, falls below the current. 30 hours a week at $4,500 is $18,000 a month, is $54,000 falls below the current threshold. At 20 hours a week, 12,000 a month is 36,000, falls below the proposed threshold. At 10 hours a week, at 1,500, 6,000 a month, 18,000 falls below the proposed threshold. So that is where we stand on that. Something else I noticed, the contract dates, 1/16, 1/22, 1/28, 1/28, 1/29, indicate there's time to get these contracts before council in the month. The total cost for the 5 contracts that did not come to council, varying depending on hours needed, are approximate, and these sums are not insignificant. None of this has come before council. If the total cost is at 40 hours a week for the hourly contractors, the cost for all of this is $433,200. At 30 hours a week from the hourly contractors, the total for all these 5 contracts is $338,400. At 20 hours a week from the hourly contractors, the total cost of those 5 is $243,000. At 10 hours a week from the hourly contractors, it's $148,000. So my conclusion on this is that there is a benefit of increased transparency, a bit of an overview. I think this council recognizes the needs of this city administration, but the formality of bringing it, the extra bit of transparency, I think that benefit outweighs any, and it is a limited impact on city operations. This really, tested against the current contracts, did not carry a lot of impact. I think it's the least burdensome way to improve transparency, why the dust settles on this administrative that transition. I can't talk anymore. Was that enough numbers?
That was great.
Thank you.
It took me a long time to do that. My calculator was on fire. And then I had to start working on taxes, so it was just an ugly day all the way around. Oh, my God.
I would like to respond that that was a lot of numbers, and that actually almost proves the point that we should hold off on this and add another section to it that talks about how they're going to define what the amount of a contract is for which they have to come to us. Because you just went through a lot of different scenarios. We don't know that we could define through ordinance that if they're going to do a consulting agreement or any sort of contract, that they have to define it so that we don't go through all this permutations that they say this is a not to exceed, or this is an initial contract amount of some number, and that is what then the threshold is they come to us. Now,
well, traditionally, they have usually given us a amount not to exceed.
If they had,
this is new,
well,
and I think they could go back to doing that without legislation. Again, I'm trying to not overburden, City Hall that's in disarray. I'm just trying to make the opportunity available to increase transparency in a moment in a way that really doesn't, impact greatly the operation in City Hall. I mean, yes, there's room to look at systemic change, but I don't, that's like my neighborhood improvement ordinance. That's not going to happen. It's not going to, result until the dust settles.
I would say that because they are in transition, it would be useful to not to just leave it in committee and work with the administration and see if it's something they can handle, so that we aren't overburdening them for one more month, so that they can work on this. The contracts are done
in another month.
And
the systemic change at City Hall in those departments will take probably a year.
But this ordinance, this change to an ordinance, this single change, could wait for another committee meeting where we could actually take some more input, make some more changes that would be beneficial, that would help us avoid all the ifs. And if we go with the .005 versus leave it at the .01, we could still say, have some more definition about what information we want to get from the controller's office, what information we want from the administration, and perhaps there's just some more reporting, because if we're not going to be declining these things, if we're saying we wouldn't decline them even if we knew about them.
That's not true.
Right? But if it is a low number that we are not inclined to decline, we just want knowledge of, is there a budget line item and what the scope of work is,
Well, budgeting belongs in a different set of ordinances.
How we're gonna pay for the contract, sorry.
That belongs in a different set of ordinances.
I think they
That's a
need to
different
tell us
process.
how they're gonna pay for a particular contract. I'd like to see the budget line item that they're planning to use for a contract that comes to us.
They typically do put that, you know, we've seen contracts tonight and resolutions, and they had the line items.
Okay.
I believe Vice President Buckingham has a comment.
I want to say, first of all, that we do exercise our fiducial responsibility first when we pass the budget. We pass the budget, and most of the contracts that come forth for any amount are appropriations that are included in the budget. I think looking at this administration's first month contracts, I've looked at them also, are extraordinary. They are not that what typically fall in the line of business that we're looking at. And I can see your point. But are we going to be in a position, we don't negotiate contracts.
No.
We don't rewrite contracts. Are we going to argue the contracts? I mean, that's where I get hazy. I think that we include it, and we can see the contracts, albeit once they're approved. We can look at them, and I understand they're now going to be posted on OpenGov. There will be a link on the controller's webpage that will take you to OpenGov. I think without a right to know, none of us can look at the complete contract, but we can get more information, I think, than we get now. But I think that we need to think long and hard about why we would want to look at these. Well, how are we going to deal with them? What are we going to do? Are we going to try to renegotiate them? Not our purview. Or, you know, are we going to argue them? I have some concerns about this.
Thank you, Vice President Buckingham. I believe that Councilwoman Buck has a motion on the floor to place this, to continue to keep this in committee. Is there a second? And that motion dies. Is there any further council comment? Yes,
Yes, I have a
Councilman Super.
question.
Yes.
I have a question for Solicitor Flowers. So if this moves forward and there is a change, what happens to those in between that area of the contracts that have already been passed? And then if we move forward with this, do they come immediately back? Is there a timeline? How does that work?
So first of all, I just want to say for the record, the executed contracts do have a maximum in there. So it's the only thing that isn't showing a maximum is the controller's summary. There are contract maximums. And then should this move forward, there isn't going to be any retroactive approval of any contract. It's not going to be clawed back to council. So if this gets passed, it then becomes effective, and you would see anything above that amount going forward.
So pretty much I guess I'm trying to think of, so if they're working on anything now, or if they haven't signed anything on the dotted line, those would have the impact.
Once this gets codified,
Yeah.
then yes, anything from the day that it gets codified forward would have to come to council before it's executed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Flowers. Any further comments or questions? Councilman Supler?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Any further council comments from council or questions? Any from the public? Comments or questions from the public?
Point of clarification, Monica Kruger, York City Bureau of Health. Some of the concern that I have from just a bureau perspective is that we deal with a lot of different contracts and agreements. So we get grants, and within the grant, it specifies how we can allocate those funds. The threshold there then becomes a challenge for us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we already have, and I know that's part of what I think Elsbeth was saying, that there are some distinctions here. I mean, from my perspective, there are some distinctions in contracts and agreements that should be considered for thresholds. In other words, I may, if every time I have an agreement or a subcontract, we get $100,000 on a grant, maybe 50 of that I have to utilize a contract person for because it's a specific skill set that isn't something that we have within the city, within our bureau or the city employees. So I think that there is some consideration for when you're looking at some of these, like all across the board, that everything has to come through. And anyway, I just wanted to put that forth because it may look like there's no extra burden, but there's a lot that goes into what gets submitted. There's timelines, there's deadlines to meet, there's multiple people, before it gets to you all, there's multiple people that we have to submit things through before it gets to you all. And that may impact our ability to spend those funds in a timely fashion that they need to be spent. So anyway, I just thought it was worth putting that out there for whatever it's worth. And yes, we're just one small bureau within the city. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, sir, you had some comments?
Manuel Gomez, City of York. I reviewed my first contract here. I remember it was one of the first things I did. Controller James Sneddon, 23 years ago. I never stopped. Never stopped. One of the few people I've brought a lot of grievances regarding the publication of contracts, appropriateness, the advisability, suitability. I could go on and on. Generally speaking, I would say drop the percentage. Drop the percentage. But it's for a reason that it's in the recitals, but it hasn't really been talked about much. We should act like the house is on fire. Fiscally speaking, part of acting like the house is on fire is reviewing everything once, twice, even 3 times if you must. That being said, timing is everything. Sometimes you can't do much with how you're structured as a body. It's going to, by necessity and by default, be adversarial. It must be. If you're any sort of conduit, you shouldn't just be an empty vessel. There must be friction, particularly when we are in dire fiscal straits. We just are. We have been, we continue to be. We're trying to recover. For those reasons and those reasons alone, I would say drop the percentage. Again, timing is everything. Why would it come up now? Who even knows? Who even knows? And we have a government that's coming in and is transitioning. I hear the remarks, and I've heard many things. I've heard many things, not just here in chambers, but I do not necessarily think that those contracts are extraordinary, in my humble opinion. Been around for decades, right here in chambers. Actually, we were at One Market Way West. Before all these cameras and this became a spectator sport. It doesn't appear to be extraordinary. It appears to me to be an administration that means business. Our job collectively is going to be to make sure that they mean business and they bear the fruits of that business as they conduct this business. I would say drop the percentage. The time is now. If it's on the table, do it. Do it. That would be my plea. With regards to the publication of the contracts, I would like it to be more consistent. We have the technological framework for it. I would like it to be more exhaustive wherever applicable. Because what's been said tonight, it's actually accurate in terms of you can't just post everything all of the time. And quite honestly, you guys as a body, there's nothing stopping you, and forgive the term, but for crossing across the hall and saying, hey, what are you guys working on? You really shouldn't be dependent on a dashboard that we as the public would be dependent upon because you guys are there. That communication should already be happening. You shouldn't need to maneuver in any specific ways, whether things are intended to be adversarial in a reasonable capacity because you have a fiduciary responsibility to be adversarial. But as long as that's what you're doing, there's many ways for you to do that. You don't necessarily have to depend on a public dashboard. I think that's more for us to have to wrangle with. You guys should already know. Sometimes, and I don't mean to be brash when making this point, I wonder how it is that City Council is so far out of the loop. But I'll be quite honest with you, I'm not so apt to blame, not just this administration, but any of the administrations. Because I know when I'm looking for something, I'm gonna find a way to get it. I don't really know how you guys would miss too much. So it's just all of us need to make sure that we're really on the ball. Ultimately, I would say release this from committee. let's just move it forward, and hopefully we're lighting the match. Well, the match has been lit, but we know that the house is on fire, fiscally speaking.
Thank you. Okay. I'll make a motion to place this on our March 3rd, 2026 legislative agenda.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nay.
Nay. We have 2 nays, okay.
The three.
Oh, wait a minute, what was it?
I'm a no.
Okay, so to place this on the second agenda, what were the yays?
2.
Two.
Okay, so, Supler
And Councilwoman Janescu.
and Janiscu, okay. And nays were,
Councilwoman Vice President Buckingham and myself.
okay, so that is not on the third agenda.
That does not move forward. We switching number 11 and 10, and actually doing number 11 first.
Okay, now you're going to confuse me.
Me too.
So we will actually be, and I'll hand it over to Councilwoman Janescu for both of these.
Okay, so we're doing liaison assignments first? Or,
We're adopting the 2026-2027 rules of council first.
No,
All
we'll do
right.
liaisons first.
if you switch
Yeah,
them.
oh, that's right, we said rules first, that's what
Yes.
we talked about.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you got,
what I'll do is read down our list. And you know, decide or let me know if you're interested. So general is council president, that's already filled in. Fire police.
I thought she
oh,
said the
we're,
rules.
we're,
On the,
Oh, we're doing the
this,
rules.
yes,
Oh.
yes.
I had,
It's okay. We
It's
switched
okay.
it.
everyone's driving me nuts today.
It's all right.
All right, so what we're gonna do is a simple vote, whether you checked yes or no in that box. And I even wrote down the voting order so I don't get mixed up. Clerk Thompson, are you going to keep track of the count? Or you want me to do it?
I'll try.
Why don't I take my blank one and fill it in as we go? That way we have 2 records.
Councilwoman Janescu, can I make a brief comment?
Yeah.
Before you move forward?
Sure.
I just want to share with everyone that our clerk, Thompson, provided each of us with a, what we would call, I wouldn't call it a cheat sheet, but a document with the 2026-2027 rules of council proposed amendments with our amendments for each of us as council members that Councilwoman Janescu is going to read from for our vote this evening, so the way it will be easier for the public and as well easier for us. So thank you, Clerk Thompson, for taking care of that for us.
So I'll read the amendment and we'll say yes or no, and then, you know, each vote and tally. We all should have a pretty good idea what we agreed with not, so I don't think we need to belabor this. Okay, the first one, the city council is a legislative body of the city responsible for setting city policy through the adoption of the city's budget, ordinances, and resolutions, and investigate the conduct of the duties of any department or office or agency of the city government. All right, so Buff?
Yes.
Okay. Supler?
Yes.
John Askew, no? Buckingham?
No.
And Washington?
No.
Okay, so that one does not carry. The next one, adoption of rules, concerned about requiring 4 members to accept the rules.
May I make a just quick comment, since that was my comment?
Put your mic on.
I'm sorry, really, it just falls right under the next one. My intent was to fall right under the
So shall we cross that one off?
yes, you can just cross it out and.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're not interested in adoption of the rules of 4 members, is that what you're talking
Yeah, we're
about?
not doing that one.
What my commitment was that I agreed to change it to 3 members.
Oh, okay,
That was
okay.
it.
Okay.
All right.
So I confused you all, I apologize.
That's all right. It's all confusing. I shared with Diana, you know, the clips from the original movie 1776, the musical. And when Thomas Jefferson got done writing, you know, Declaration of Independence and introduced it, and every single representative jumped up and started shouting their amendments.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. I sent that to her to cheer her up.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, all right. So, adoption, repeal, rules of suspension, change to 3 members to accept, repeal, suspend the rules. Supler,
Yes. Or wait,
or
a change to 3.
2 members to accept.
The one in the writing is to 4, right?
No, we're going to change it from 4 to 3.
Oh, no,
You
I'm
want-
sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Bob?
You're saying it's currently 4?
It's
And we're
currently
going down
4.
to 3?
In the
Yes.
rewrite, yes.
And the rewrite is 4 members. Council President Washington wants to change it to 3. Do you agree changing it to 3 members to approve the rules or suspend them? Or you want to keep it at 4, which is in the current rewrite?
No?
Okay.
Okay. John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
And Washington?
Yes.
All right, that carries. Next one up, public comment. Do not limit to residents, taxpayers, and keep the time limit. All right. Supler?
No.
Bup?
No.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Okay, that one carries. Next one, personal attack definition, favor disruption, disorder, and rules. Let me find that again. Okay, Supler?
Yes.
Bup?
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham?
No.
And Washington?
No.
The
All
next
right.
one, Supler has recommended removal from the amended request.
Okay,
Take this out.
Yes, that one's being removed.
all right. Okay, the next one. I'm trying to look at mine and, okay, remove requirement limiting public comment to city residents and taxpayers. Supler?
Wait, limit public comment Tuesday. That was a no.
Okay, Bup?
No.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Okay, that carries. Next one, remove requirement.
I think that's
That's the same thing.
thing.
Okay. No, there's a little bit of a difference here. This is keep time limit for general public comment at the beginning of the meeting. Do we want to vote on that portion of it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do that. All right, next one is keep time limit for general public comment at the beginning of the meeting. Supler?
No.
Bup?
Yes.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
And Washington?
Yes.
Okay, and that carries. Reorganization meeting should be ceremonial only with no general business unless urgent. Supler?
No.
Bup?
No.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Okay, moving on down. All right. Remove a liaison serves as day-to-day communication arm of council responsible for gathering information on specific departments' problems, goals, and service. Replace with a liaison function as a legislative bridge between executive and legislative branches tasked with gathering details on proposed legislation. Supler?
No.
Bup?
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham?
Yes.
And Washington?
Yes.
All right. Remove written report requirement for liaisons. Update council was necessary. Supler?
No.
Bupp?
Yes.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
All
Okay,
right?
so, what was, BUP was?
Bup is no.
Okay.
So yes.
BUP is a yes?
Bup is
Okay.
yes.
Yes, super was no.
Okay.
I'm just
Oh,
putting the
so it's all
hashes down.
four? Okay. I
So,
don't even know if,
so
I think.
Supers no.
Super's a no.
And the rest of us are
The
yes.
rest of us are
Okay.
yes.
It's one no and four yeses.
throwing
Can we throw out the next one because it's pretty much the same thing?
Which one, is that the one for?
On format expectations for
Yeah,
liaison?
that was, that one we can withdraw.
Okay, let's withdraw that.
All right.
All right, I'll cross it out on these sheets then. All right. And this is the other one, also, well,
Is that the same thing?
I think it's the same thing.
I'll throw that out as well. It's
Let's
the
throw
same.
that out, all right.
We're moving right along.
We certainly are. I learned a lot about being lean in manufacturing. Okay.
Doing this ahead of time was amazing. It took a lot of time.
Okay, strike requirement that president, VP must inform council if they meet with the mayor. Supler.
No.
Bupp.
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham
Yes.
and Washington.
Yes.
Okay. Add language about timing of special emergency meetings.
I needed
Yeah, further clarification.
I didn't know what that meant.
Neither did I.
You want to remove that altogether, BUP?
Yeah, because it ties in with the other things.
All right,
Okay.
good. All right, thank you.
Okay.
I have no idea what that meant.
Getting close to the cocktail hour.
Okay.
Okay.
I got to text my husband, get that.
Reduce legislative meetings to once per month.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Supler?
Yes.
Bupp?
No.
I'm sorry, Diana. John
That's okay.
Askew, no.
I know this is a no.
Buckingham
No.
and Washington.
No.
Okay.
How did John Askew vote on that?
Oh, I voted no on that. All right.
So that was a 4-1.
Yep.
Yes.
So, reports of committees. Suggest this section serve as reports of the Youth Council Committee. I guess it's a good idea to add something for that project. So let's take a go at this. Supler?
Yes.
All right. Bupp?
Yes.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham
Yes?
and Washington.
Yes.
Hey, yay, we all agree.
Hey.
That's a, wow. Phew, there's a moment. All right. Remove committee chair and replace with council liaison for consistency, as council will now be referred to as liaisons. All right. Supler?
Yes.
Bupp?
Yes.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham
Yes?
and Washington.
Yes.
Woo!
Two in a
Yeah.
row.
We got 2 in a row.
We're on fire. All right. Add the following underlined text. Bills upon introduction. Bills are read by short title only at one meeting and may be discussed upon introduction and then voted upon at a separate meeting. All right. Supler?
Yes.
Bupp?
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham
No.
and Washington.
No.
Okay. Add the following underlined text. That's at the end of it. In meeting corrections, should an item need correction or amendment, not including typographical or grammatical errors after its final submission, their request must be made during the council meeting. If the item has a second, there will be allowed a period of public comment. All right. Supler.
Yes.
Bupp.
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham.
No.
Washington.
No.
Okay. All right. Apprehensive, the
You
committee.
can withdraw that, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, he has that withdrawn. And
All
also
right.
the last one on that page, to 10A to B, page 7, that's also stricken.
Yes, the recognition, yeah.
Recognition ID is
Yes,
stricken.
you can withdraw that one too, please.
Okay. All right. So add the following text. Any item that remains in committee at the close of legislative year shall be considered expired and may be reintroduced in the next legislative year. Supler.
Yes.
Bupp.
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Okay. Release from committee, remove liaison, specifies, replace with shall suggest. She shall see shells by the sea.
Seashore?
The legislative meeting date. All right, Supler.
Yes.
Buck.
Yes.
John Askew, yes. Buckingham?
Yes.
And Washington.
Yes.
Woo!
3.
Gosh. All right, remove the word back regarding referring items to committee. All right, Supler?
Yes.
Buck?
What was there in place of that? What did that say before?
I think my intent was that not every item was in committee prior, so it wasn't always able to move back to. Some things don't always go to committee, so I was just thinking of it like a technical item.
I thought this referred to things that were
Already in committee.
Already,
They're already
okay.
in committee.
Yes.
So you have to refer them back.
I agree with you, Vice President
Yeah,
Buckingham.
that was how I read that.
All right, now I'm all confused. Okay, so Supler is yes.
Yes.
Buck?
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham?
No.
And Washington?
No.
All right. Remove 30-minute time limit for public comment and strike subsection C. Supler?
Yes.
Buck?
No.
John Askew is no. Buckingham?
No.
And Washington?
No.
All right.
We have one left.
One left.
Oh, my goodness.
This was a great one.
Okay.
This was so great.
All right. Strike decorum language from the words consistent to section 3. Supler?
Yes.
Buck?
Yes.
John Askew, no. Buckingham?
No.
And Washington?
No.
All right, that's it. Diana,
Wow.
I will give you my tally sheet.
All right.
There you go. Dear, have fun
And I want
Thank
to
you very much.
commend our clerk
Yes.
for doing this.
for putting this format together. I'm sure it took us all a long time at home to do this, but it really made this go
Yes, it did.
quickly.
It must be going okay. Manuel's still here. Man, you really are
I mean, it was very
dedicated.
helpful for me. It was really helpful for me.
Okay, all right, where's my blank of the council?
And I went through and put down what everybody requested.
All right, well, I'll just hand mine over. Okay, so fire and police.
Oh, we have to make a
I
motion.
think we have to vote on the other
We
one.
have to vote on this.
The
Do we have to vote on it
No,
as
she
a
has to
whole?
write the final, then we're gonna vote on it, just committee.
Well, you can, if you want to put it in,
Should move it out of
on the
committee?
March 17th.
Yes.
You have to
agenda,
vote
we
for
can
that?
do
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. All right, I move to put this on the March legislative agenda.
Second.
All right, and everyone in agreement?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
No.
Anyone
I'm
abstaining?
gonna say no.
You're opposed?
Yeah, I'm opposed.
Oh, okay.
Opposed from Supler, Councilman Supler.
What would be your preference, Councilman?
This was strictly on the timing, or was it just in general of the rules?
Well,
What do
it's
you
putting the rules, she's gonna write up the rules as we voted on them, and then we would approve them at the meeting.
At the March 17th,
Incorporation.
March 17th legislative meeting.
Okay, okay. I was just not in favor of the overall rules package. That's where
Well,
I
you
was.
get to vote on that in the legislative meeting.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're okay with putting on the 17th, Ryan?
Yeah, that's fine, that's
Okay.
fine.
Right,
Is that a resolution?
It's resolution.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay, now we're at council liaisons, let the fun begin. Fire and police.
I wanted to actually separate those two. Have one is a fire committee and then one is a police committee. That was on my sheet that I recommended.
I remember seeing that.
That before too. I
If-
did see that.
I didn't know if anyone else had that same feeling or if they were,
Well, I'll just add fire up top. Okay, if everyone's agreed. Who wants the fire? Yes.
Did we just leave the rules and procedures already?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't have public comment.
Oh, did you want, oh, sorry, Manuel. Would you like to make, yes, I'm sorry to neglect you.
Not me. Decades. This is just not my first rodeo. Manuel Gomez, City of York. And I usually stay the entire meeting. Mayor's been around would know this. Speaking into the wind here, whirlwind. One thing that I would like to say with regards to public comment, and I mentioned this before, we do not need any more barriers in terms of sharing information, receiving information, and being able to communicate amongst each other.
Wait, just back, I couldn't understand what you said. We don't need any more
Barriers.
barriers. Okay, thank you.
We have a lot.
I didn't catch that word.
We have a lot. Typically, these barriers, they're constructed around these imaginary lines. They're arbitrary. Borders. It's something we face increasingly in these times. We do not need any more of it cementing here locally, above and beyond what we're already facing. As someone that's often the only person in the room going on 23 years that's not paid to be here and offers his opinion, for better or worse, I can tell you, I don't lock the door behind me. I promise you I don't. And I've also never had to sit still and wait behind a large line and say, well, when do I get to speak? It goes both ways. I've never felt cut off. I've been removed from the podium and from the mic by police officers. I've been stricken from chambers, been thrown out many times, not once, not twice. I just return and take my seat. It's okay. So I know rules and procedures very well. I've seen fights break out in the bathroom here. I could go on and on and on. The way we run council meetings now is very different from what it used to be. We've come a long way. What you don't want to do is limit participation and that free flow of ideas. There's going to be expertise that is not always resident, pun intended, to this community. And you're going to cut that off.
No, we struck that.
No, we're not.
We struck that.
You would.
We struck it.
Even considering it.
We struck it.
For even considering it, it was odd to me because you're doing, for example, the youth committees and all of that. There's all of that interrelational capacity building. You'd break all of that, both in spirit and by the letter of the law. Let's not forward anything like that anymore, okay? Let's just keep things open. I don't even know why that was even considered. And again, I always bring up the point that, and I said it earlier, timing is everything. Timing is everything. It always strikes me as odd.
I'm sorry, Manuel, what was it that you were saying that was even considered? I didn't catch what you were
That
saying.
limiting
wanted
it
to
to
limit-
residents and taxpayers.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
and that's not something that I think should have ever even been considered. I don't understand the timing of it, nor the purpose, and I'm glad to see it go. Hopefully we have more comment. A lot more people watch and have wonderful, wonderful, very relevant ideas to bring forward. They just don't bring them forward. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm sure you hear a lot of it. You don't want to cut that off. You don't want to cut that off, especially during a period where not only are we in transition, but we have to make do with what we have. And when you have to make do with what we have, you need all the resources at your disposal. Biggest resources we have available are our people in this community. Let's not cut anybody off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one comment to make, is the 30-minute timeline, which we kept in there. But there have been many meetings in the past 4 years when we have never cut it off at 30 minutes, if there are a lot of people to speak, that our president has allowed everyone to speak that needed to speak, which is, and I agree with it. We don't want to put those barriers.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to look at circumstances where, for example, we've had guests, so we can call them. Some of them have traveled some way, but they bring expertise with them, and it's very timely expertise.
Yes.
It can be CASA, it can be Gun Owners of America.
Exactly.
Bring some relevant examples that we've had
Those are
recently.
two I thought of.
Yes, it can be ceasefire we've had here many times. Many, many examples where we wouldn't want to shut that door.
Yes.
I'm glad that we're in agreement on that.
Thank you.
And I'll have to say, that wasn't them that put that in there. It was me, even though I agree as well that, I mean, it would be impossible to limit to taxpayers because we can't ask them their address, so we wouldn't know anyway. But I know that it is part of the law that it can be. So I just wanted to
Right,
provide
yes.
the option to council for that.
Yes.
So that was all me, it wasn't them. And it
See,
wasn't because I was trying to
we voted it
hush
down.
people. Well, maybe a
you,
little
Clerk
bit.
Thompson.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
So okey dokey, are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Who would like to be the fire department liaison?
Me,
Ryan?
yeah.
Any-
I have a question though, how many liaisons are we gonna allow per department?
There's only
Because in the past,
one.
we had 3, so is.
That's
this replacing
changing.
the
Yes.
committee?
Because now we're always voting as a committee of a whole at committee meetings. That liaison will introduce the legislation, will communicate with the department, and bring anything forward. That's why we had 3 in the committee, because we voted as that group. But this way, everything moves forward by a vote of the entire.
And we had a committee chair who was technically
Yes.
the liaison.
Yeah. So now we
There
just,
wasn't 3 before, there was technically
Remember
just,
your microphone when you're talking to.
I'm sorry.
All of you are remember
Yes.
your microphone.
I said, but we had a committee chair who was technically the
Liaison.
liaison to that department.
but there were 3 in the
3 on
committee overall.
yes.
Yep. Right.
So
Okay.
did you all decide to split fire and police or keep it together? Do you want to vote on that?
Do we need to?
I mean, is everybody in agreement to separate them?
I would just, before you do that, I wanted to say, now I know why it's together, is because there are 5 of us.
Mm.
And if we separate it, there will be 6 departments. So somebody will be doing double duty, and that excludes rules, so rules being like that. So I'm guessing that they were put together.
No, now there were
5
5,
leads.
now there are 5.
There are 5
There are
now.
5.
I mean, there was no rhyme or reason. They were public safety, so I said
Yeah.
fire and police. So there was no like mathematical thing with it. It was just fire and police were public safety. That's
Okay.
why I put them together. So that was it.
Well, for the sake of having 1 council member per liaison, would you be okay if we just kept it this way?
I was in preference of breaking them up based on also the budget items, the allocations, since they're so large. That was kind of where I was thinking.
I would just want to comment, I've served as the fire and police chair since my time on council, and there has been no issues or complications with serving as the chair for both of those committees, regardless of the amount of the budget and the communication with that fire chief, the different fire chiefs, as well as the different police commissioners or police chiefs at that time. And so I don't believe that the separation of it would be an issue. I don't think we need to separate it. I believe that keeping it as fire and police together, because it is public safety, would be just fine.
All right, so Ryan, would you like fire and police?
Yes.
All right, that's done. Public Works, Betsy, you wanted that?
Yep, I had actually had a request. Yes,
All right, I'd like to take Economic and Community Development.
okay.
Business Administration,
I was hoping for that one.
all right. Rules and Administrative Code,
I'll take that.
you take that?
What does that do?
That's just when you have amendments to the codified ordinances.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would just be, you would just basically be introducing that legislation unless it, actually, I don't know, because, because it's just like if like with Councilwoman John-Escu, when she introduced legislation to amend something, she introduced it. So there's really, not really a liaison to that.
Shall we just get rid of it?
Yeah, we
Let's
could get
strike
rid of
it.
rules.
Yeah.
Strike it.
Administrative code.
All right.
Sounds great.
Sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, City School District Cooperation and Open Communications Committee.
I'll take that.
That's perfect with the Youth Committee.
It is.
Okay, Officers and Employees Retirement Board.
I'm on that now, and I'd like to continue that.
That's good, all right. York County Board of Commissioners, I'm currently on that. I'd be willing to stay on it.
All right.
I thought at one point I read that the president of council was supposed to be the
Oh, yeah.
liaison to.
Or I think, or designee, I
Or
think. I think
designee.
it said or
Or
designee.
designee.
Or something.
What?
Yeah.
Or designee,
I think-
council
I think-
president or designee.
I think it did say that, but, it was, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, she's all right, Johnny Skew.
Yeah, I'm all right most of the time. I'll be a lot better in about a half hour. All right, Civil Service Board.
I'll take that.
All right. Consolidated Board of Appeals.
That, do you all know what that is?
Well, can we talk about these actually beyond the internal administration departments? These are boards and authorities that have their own structure and their own, I don't know that they come to us for legislation. If they did, I would assume they would come through an administrative department to ask for a change in their legislation, but maybe we can talk about that. I know there's been some emails about, do we need a liaison for these boards and authorities?
That we adopted that when we updated the boards and authorities ordinance. And it doesn't, and how you act on that is up to you. I mean, I happen to go to all the RDA planning, HARB, and zoning meetings, because things are gonna come to us at council, I learn, and it helped me identify some weaknesses. They know I'm their point person. So, you know, council should be actively engaged in these boards where we make appointments. It doesn't mean you have to go to every meeting, but it means the members of that board know you're their council liaison if they have a concern that's independent of the administration. So I think it serves a purpose. And again, I think in our recent engagement with the boards, we have found that we have a lot of work to do with them. And so that's a good outcome of council engagement.
I agree, and I thought like some of them, the Board of Appeals or General Authority, Board of Health or whatever, but some, like HARB, I mean, some of them that some of us noted on here, like, I'd be willing to do the Downtown Inc., and I think they'd probably like to have a council person
Yep.
that comes to their thing.
Yeah.
So I'll put you down for that one. I'll skip down.
Okay. But
All
I
right.
thought, you know,
But the
yeah.
Board of Appeals, exactly what do they do?
What was that, hold on, which one, which one? did you
Betsy's
put
gonna
up?
do the downtown
Downtown
business,
Okay,
Downtown Inc.
Number 20, number 20.
That's number 20.
And like, you
okay.
know, I thought it was great that, because I did a chart today with the things that the ones that you have put down for HARB, for the
Yep.
Plan Commission, zoning and hearing that you go to. I liked that too, and I get good information from you from those when I don't watch those. And Queena, you're perfect for, I thought, HRC. But, or,
Well, let's decide what we're gonna do with Consolidated Board of Appeals.
I can explain
Okay.
that. So the Vacant Property Review Board, which I'm currently on, when they meet, and they decide that a property has been blighted or want to blight it, and then that decision happens. If the owner of the property disagrees with that decision, they can go to the Board of Appeals and ask for them not to be considered blighted.
Okay, I've heard about those during
Yeah.
RDA meetings. So really, the same person should be the Consolidated Board of Appeals and the Vacant Property Review Board?
That's right.
I think Councilwoman Buck,
have
Buck
done it.
is on VPRC right now.
That's
Yes.
correct.
You wanna stay on it?
Yes, I'm happy to
Okay,
stay on it.
so do you want the Board of Appeals too?
That's fine.
They don't meet that often, Board of
No.
Appeals, very,
No.
Only if
They-
they have a case.
a case, correct.
Which is typically monthly. They meet every month.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Which one does?
Consolidated Board of Appeals.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, and it's not just blight, it's, you can appeal, so you can appeal, like if your inspection, your tenant occupied inspection comes back with failures, you can, that's how you challenge those findings on there. You
Okay.
can appeal code maintenance violations through there as well.
Okay.
I have descriptions too of what each board does on the website.
I was gonna say, it's all on the
Yeah,
website,
mhm.
yeah.
General Authority, that's not meeting regularly, but it does have an important function.
I would think that Elspeth would be good, because that falls under business, business admin, I believe, is what that, would you be interested in that,
Sure.
Elspeth? Okay.
Board of Health,
Again, that falls under Econ Dev, so.
I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, continue with HARB.
Okay.
Housing Authority?
That would be on the Econ Deb too.
Hmm?
That's on the Econ Deb too.
Oh, the Housing Authority?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh, I'll just do a sweep then. That's fine, unless somebody wants it.
Does anybody else want it, or
No,
housing
but
authority?
Terry's gonna be going, her husband's gonna be really complaining, cause she.
Oh,
But that's only, like she said, you don't have to be at all
I
those
feel
meetings, but.
bad for
Housing Authority.
Housing
Yeah, I'll
authority.
take housing
Okay, Washington
authority.
take
I'll
housing
take it.
authority.
What?
Are you
I'll
okay
take
with
it.
that? Or
take
do you-
what?
Housing Authority.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband's feeling a little put out. He expected different things when we retired. He'll get over it. Housing Authority at Queena. Human Relations Commission. Ryan, you seem to be involved with them, but you're already on the board, aren't you? Or you're involved with it?
I'm not on.
Oh, would you like to be the liaison for
I did-
Human Relations?
I didn't know President Washington.
You can go ahead.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'll take,
Because I know you're working on the legislation and
yep. Thank you.
I'll continue doing planning. And Betsy, you wanted to,
I'll do, redevelopment
Development.
authority. They meet at 4, right?
yep, 4 o'clock on the third Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll still be attending. I enjoy that. I'm working on my
Right, I'll
shirt.
let you know if I can't, because sometimes it can be, you know.
No, they gave Dylan Bauer a shirt for years and years of attendance, so I've been teasing him that I'm looking for my shirt. I've gone to every meeting for over 2 years. I'm still waiting. They did offer to buy me, to be, invited me to Grand Falloons with them all after the
Oh, that's
last
what Frank
meeting.
Countess at, so said I should join it. He would take 6. I said, no, I have to always buy my own meals.
Yep. All right. Do we do anything with the Susquehanna Regional Airport Authority? Did we have anyone that's, we don't do anything with that.
We appointed somebody. to
Yeah,
do
we
We
did.
appointed-
Michael Walker.
And we also
Walker.
have, Al Cooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they come
the
every now and
funeral
then and give
home.
us the report.
Yes,
Do
they
we
do.
really need to then,
No.
no, let's just cross that one off.
You want Sarah crossed out?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one we really don't need. Okay, so Betsy's going to do Downtown Inc. I'd love to continue with the zoning hearing board, and Elsbeth is going to continue with the vacant property review.
Works
And
for
that's
me.
a wrap. Any public comment? Oh, we're wearing him down.
Who do we have for ZHB?
Me, Terry.
Okay. Well, you took on a lot.
Those are the meetings I go to anyway, every month. And that way, when these things come to us for a vote, I know what's going on.
All right. You wanna, do the vote?
Oh, yes, we should vote on that. All right, I make a motion to, do we really need to move? I guess we do need to move this to,
We
okay,
can move that to the third.
all right.
This is okay.
Do we have a motion to move this to the March 3rd legislative meeting?
Second.
Yep, however.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
All right.
That's a wrap.
Thank you, Councilwoman
2 hours and 10
Janescu.
minutes.
Do we have any council comment at this time?
Here we go, Diana.
Yes,
Please, no.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Councilman Supler?
Yes, I wanted to continue to harp on the encampments along the creek that I would like for us to, or the administration to help find solutions for those unhoused living over there. And I also wanted to report that we are still working on in addition to Solicitor Flowers, still working on the bias-motivated conduct ordinance incorporating the friendly amendments from the HRC, in addition to the HRC updates. And so I don't know if Solicitor Flowers, if you wanted to make any comments on that? Nope?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman Supler. I don't think we have any comments from the administration this evening.
No.
Our next committee meeting will be March 25th, 2026, 6 p.m. here in council chambers. As a reminder, all agenda items are due by 12 noon on March 18th, 2026. It is now 8:09 p.m. and our meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a phenomenal evening and even greater rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you.